Good morning everyone, my name is Yong Ilin and my metric number is 180271. So today we are going to discuss about the digestion in the horses, especially what will happen to the horses when the horses are taking too excessive of the amount of the banana. So before we proceed to a few of the metabolic reaction that take place in horse, before that, I would like to discuss with you all about what are the composition that we can find in the banana. As we all know, banana is one of the main energy source, and it contains non-structural carbohydrate. It consists about 85 to 93% of the dry matter, and also the non-structural carbohydrate is also known as the easily digestible carbohydrate. So the composition of the banana usually can be determined by the degree of the redness of the banana. First, we have to look into the immature of the banana fruit first, which is starch is the main carbohydrate that we can find in the green banana. Whereas the matured banana fruit, starch usually will be transformed into a soluble sugar such as sucrose, fructose, and glucose. So it usually also contains more than 70% of the sugar and rich in water, which is about 70 to 80% in the matured banana. And it also consists of low concentration of crude protein and other extracts such as minerals and crude fiber. Alright, other than the banana fruits that we are talking about just now, banana peels also actually can be consumed by the horse. So what are the composition that we can find in this banana peel? Which is, it consists of 6 to 9% of the protein in the dry matter, and usually the starch and the soluble sugar that we find in this banana peel, usually the quantity depends on the stage of the maturity. So like for example, green banana peel consists of large starch, which is approximate only about 15%, whereas yellow color banana peel consists of 30% of the free sugar. Last but not least, the banana peel also contains lignin, which is derived from the wood, cell walls of the plant, and some algae. So after we know clearly about the composition of the banana, now we would like to discuss about what will happen in the digestion of the horses, especially in carbohydrates. Can you explain about the reaction that takes place?
Sure. My name is Maisara binti Zakaria, matrix number 180269. Okay, so the digestion of carbohydrate takes place, starts from the mouth of the horse. So first, the horse will grasp the food using the mouth, the lips, and the teeth. And then in the mouth, they contain saliva. So saliva contains bicarbonate and amylase. So the bicarbonate helps to protect the stomach from becoming too acidic, whereas the amylase helps in the digestion of the carbohydrate. But in the mouth, it contains little amount of amylase, so little digestion occurs in the mouth. So then next, the feed will enter the stomach through esophagus. So in the stomach, there's only little amount of digestion of carbohydrate occurs because it focuses on the protein digestion. So in the stomach, it must not, the process of fermentation must not occur in the stomach. So the stomach helps to utilize the pH level, so it must be lower so that the fermentation process does not occur. This is because when fermentation process occurs, it will produce gases which can cause colic to the horse. So after that, the feed will then continue its journey to the small intestine. So in the small intestine, it is the major process of carbohydrate, major digestion process of carbohydrate, and where it contains pancreatic amylase, and it breaks down the carbohydrate into monosaccharide and disaccharide, and this will absorb into the bloodstream. Next, it will further to the large intestine, where it furthers down the breaking down the process, and here it produces simpler compounds, which is volatile fatty acids, and this will be utilized for energy. Then the remaining feed will continue the journey to the cecum, where it remains here for 7 hours for the fermentation process. This fermentation process further down the breaking process, and the remaining feed will be absorbed into the bloodstream. Then the fermentation process furthers in the large colon for about 48 to 65 hours, and then the process continues to the small colon, and in the small colon the excessive moisture will be absorbed, and what remain is the undigested feed. So this undigested feed will form feces and will be excreted through the anus of the horse. So I noticed that there is two digestion process occurs in the foregut and the hindgut. So do you mind explaining the foregut digestion of carbohydrates?
Yes, I mean, so my name is Afika Zafira bint Abdul Rahman, matrix number 180246. So I'll be talking about the foregut digestive system. So basically the horse has two types. The digestive system of a horse are divided into two, which is the foregut and the hindgut. The foregut consists of the stomach and small intestine, and the hindgut consists of the cecum. Carbohydrates can be divided into two parts, which are structural and non-structural carbohydrates. So the structural carbohydrates, they are more complex structures and need to undergo fermentation in the hindgut, while the non-structural carbohydrates are easily digested and can be digested inside the foregut. The rate of digestion in a horse depends on the feed type that the horse takes, whether it is high in structural carbohydrate or non-structural carbohydrate. So basically, the small intestine of a horse covers about 28% of the digestive system, and the small intestine can be divided into three portions, which is the jejunum, duodenum, and ileum. The digestion in the...
Excuse me.
Sorry. So basically in the small intestine, basically the carbohydrate digestion starts in the mouth, but it occurs only in small portion, and in the stomach it stops due to the acidic environment. It's not compatible for the enzyme to react, and the digestion continues in the small intestine, where the pancreatic enzyme excretes pancreatic amylase, which is inside the duodenum, and the amylase produced breaks down starch or glucose into maltose. But however, the amylase produced is very little, and the overconsumption of carbohydrates can easily be overwhelmed in the process. So after the breakdown of glucose into maltose inside the duodenum, which is by the pancreatic enzyme, the glucose will be converted into pyruvate, and with the help of pyruvate synthase, it will be converted to acetyl-CoA, which becomes the precursor for the TCA cycle. So the TCA cycle has been discussed in our report. So Cassandra, could you share with us about the hindgut, the digestion?
So, my name is Cassandra Alexis, matrix number 180180. Just now, my Sarah did mention about there is a fermentation process that occurs in the hindgut, but I'm going to explain to you guys just briefly. So, actually, the fermentation process of the undigested nutrients that occurs in the cecum is very much similar to what happened in the rumen of the ruminants. So, insoluble carbohydrates such as cellulose, hemicellulose, and pectin, as well as the starch and other soluble carbohydrates that were not digested in the small intestine will then flow into the cecum, which is the first part of the large intestine. So during the fermentation process, this undigested carbohydrate will be broken down by the microbes to release volatile fatty acids, which is abbreviated as VFA. So the three most common VFA are acetate, propionate, and butyrate. So in addition to these compounds, water, heat and gas also are produced. And acetate can be absorbed directly into the bloodstream of the host and used as energy. Besides, it is also an important source of fat in lactating a mare's milk. A mare is a female horse. And as for propionate and butyrate, they can be used as energy, but first they must be converted into products and a product and eventually a glucose. And after the fermentation, the feed will then enter the large colon for further microbial digestion and absorption. And then there are bacteria actually present there, and that this bacteria actually helps to continue in the fermentation of the cellulose. And later, these nutrients will then be absorbed here as well. So our discussion is about what happens if there is excessive intake of banana, right? So can anybody explain about it more?
Okay, I'll explain about it. My name is Chris Ann and my matrix number is 180329. So horses can actually eat banana because potassium's importance in muscle functions, including like muscle contraction. So although bananas can be healthy, they also should only be fed in moderation, as an excess of potassium can actually be detrimental to our horses' health and also their muscle function. So too much potassium can actually prevent a horse muscle from properly relaxing and can lead to muscle stiffness. So a diet too rich in potassium can also prevent the horse from absorbing other important nutrients such as calcium and also magnesium. So a horse should receive at least 1% of his body weight in forage. So most horses would eat 1.5 to 2% of their body weight in forage to safely meet their energy need. So digestible energy, which is DE, is measured in megacalories per kilogram of feed. So this DE requirement for 400 kg horse is 13.36 megacalorie as for maintenance, and the amount of calories in 20 kg of banana is as high as 19 megacalories. So these DE excesses lead to increasing stored energy in the body by way of deposed or known as fat tissue. So a fat horse will develop nutritionally related disease like laminitis, metabolic disorders, and in young growing horses is joint problem. So to conclude, the amount of calories in 20 kg banana is too high and it is excess for a 400 kg horses. For a 400 kg horse. So, do you know what's the difference between monogastric digestive system and also a ruminant digestive system?
Okay, I can explain to you. My name is Namisa binti Jakiran, matrix number 180294. Well, basically for the monogastric, the difference is that the stomach, it has a simple single chamber stomach. Meanwhile, the ruminant, it has 4-chamber complex stomach, which are ruminant, reticulum, chromosome, and chromosome. Well, for the digestive process, monogastric usually will take the food by the mouth, and actually it will pass from the esophagus to the stomach. And the monogastric digestion usually digests cellulose in the diets by the way of symbiotic gut bacteria through microbial fermentation. And basically, the ability to extract energy is less efficient than the ruminant. Besides, they do not undergo the fermentation process. And then the bile salts stored in the gallbladder will actually empty the content of stomach, and the enzyme will neutralize neutralize the stomach acid. Meanwhile, for the ruminant digestive system, it will focus more on the stomach, which is in the first two chamber, which is the ruminant and reticulum. The food is mixed with saliva, and it will form the cud or bolus. The cud is then regulated back to the mouth, and it will mix with saliva to break into the smaller pieces. And fiber usually broken into small particles by microbes, and protein will be fermented. At the third chamber, which is a muscle, it will allow small particles to pass through the muscle, and large particles will filter out and retain in the rumen to be broken further and allow rumen to extract maximum nutrients from their diet. Well, I think that's all for our discussion today.